Hi everybody, my name is Scott Hillier. I'm independent film director and president of the AAIFF Film Festival Group, which encompasses 4 film festivals: the AAIFF, the European Independent Film Festival, the All Asian Independent Film Festival, the All African Independent Film Festival, and the All Americas Independent Film Festival, which is why we're here today. We're joined by at least 5, maybe more. We'll jump in on the podcast. Independent film directors, award-winning independent filmmakers from this year's All Americas Independent Film Festival, which we ran in Mexico City earlier on the year. It was a great success, great films, told lots of great stories, met lots of great people, and musicians were there. We may have drunk a gallon or 2 of tequila while we were there. But today we're going to talk to these award-winning independent filmmakers to find out a little bit about them, the films they've made, the films they're making, and a couple of words of advice that they might share to us, to people wanting to tread the dark path of independent filmmaking. So I'm going to kick this off by introducing the filmmakers one by one, and I'm going to ask them to talk a little bit about themselves, about their film, and then we'll go on to the next ones, and then come back for a general discussion. So first of all, I think I'd like to speak to David. And this is when Rodrigo goes crazy because he's looking for David on the screen. David.
Hello, Scott.
How you doing, man? It's good to see you again. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us about this amazing film, which I played again the other day, and it's just extraordinary. So, all yours, David.
Thanks. So, well, first of all, I'm David Canton Cosberg, and my short film is called Mortem Ovire, which supposedly in Latin means face death. And this, well, as you can see, this is an animated short film, which mainly focuses on the theme of facing death and leaving behind that what you love most. And I think it is a short film like full of a lot of heart, and I think it tackles a very emotional and important message for us all, which is like facing death. That is something that we will all face in a moment in time, and this is like our vision of that topic. So it's a very nice short film. I have a lot of, I like it a lot.
No, I mean, and we do as well, and I think the audience that they've shown over the last year have done that. But just tell me a little bit about the inspiration of the film.
Yeah, so when creating this film, we wanted to tackle a topic in that anyone could identify with. So we had like many different options, but I think that it's something like very existential, but still is something like very personal for each and any one of us, right? So when we decided to tackle this topic, we wanted to do it like in a metaphoric way and in an artistic way, but we wanted to give a message to the spectator, and this message is it doesn't matter how it happens. Death is something natural, and if it is something natural, then it can't be bad. It is what it is. So we wanted to focus on this and like just make the spectator take something with them to their homes, like make them reflect, like not like change their lives necessarily, but yes, like leave them with something good.
I mean, it's fabulous. Just one quick thing. Animated films normally have a big equal sign to me that says a lot of time. How long did it take you to make this?
Yeah, so this film took around like I think 5-6 months to make. It was, and I mean, we had like a specific time in which we had to get this done. So it was challenging, definitely, and more because I was in like learning still like these tools and how to make it look good. So we are telling a story, but we're doing it in a way that we have never done before, only on like simple exercises. But I think we took the limitations we had and we made like the most we could with them, you know? Like maybe with the rendering tools, with the animation softwares, like we just did the best we could. And I think we got like a very good product. At least the story I think is great, and the rest, well, I
Well,
think it's very nice.
well, I can tell you right now, there did not appear to be any limitations on the screen at all. So,
Thank you, thank you.
and being a learner at this as well, I can only imagine where you're going to take this. So, congratulations! It's a fabulous film. I liked it very much. Best independent animated film from the Americas 2025. Congratulations, young
That's
man.
great. Thank you so
Okay.
much, Scott.
No worries. So, just keeping in the dark path of people dying, we might have a quick chat to Daniel, who made a very, very nice film called The Indulgent. I won't embarrass myself by trying to speak it in Spanish, but best independent film, comedy film from the Americas 2025. So we're laughing a little bit about a bit of death, but let's tell us a little bit about you, Daniel, and a little bit about The Indulgent.
I will do try my best because the English not is not my native language. But hi everyone, my name is Daniel Gutierrez, and I am a filmmaker from Guadalajara, Mexico. And I'm very happy to be part of this podcast and to share a bit about our short film, El Indulgente. Thank you so much for having me.
No, it's a pleasure. Now, tell me about how this film came about because obviously it's pretty funny
Yeah,
throughout, but talking
well,
about a very difficult subject.
yeah, El Indulgente was originally created for the 48-hour film project, and we had only 2 days to write, shoot, and edit the entire short film. And it was crazy challenge, but also a beautiful creative experience. The thing is, for us, the hardest part was not making a simple comedy sketch, which is usually too easy way in 48-hour competition. We wanted to create something deeper with meaning, but still using dark humor, finding a balance, I think, between drama and black comedy.
Well, I liked it very much, I'm glad I'm not married to that woman. But no,
That's the funny part, no? That
well, it
when
is,
she
yes.
asked the money, no?
Yeah, exactly. No, I loved it. I thought it was fabulous. And now knowing that it only took you, was in that 48-hour period, it's astonishingly good bit of work. Professional actors?
Yes, and the all the cast were are my friends.
Nice, nice. Yeah, good. Well, you did a good job getting them all together. I thought that was fabulous. I thought that was fabulous. Okay, well, congratulations as well, Danielle, on winning the award and bringing a great story to the screen. Next, we're going to dive onto Karen. Karen directed a film called The Last Call. Very claustrophobic setting. A fabulous actor. The film won Best Actor for Scott William Winters. And Karen, let's take it away. Why don't we hear a little bit about you and then a little bit about your film?
Sure. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Karen Ruiz, based in San Francisco, and my film is The Last Call. And it's basically about a man who wakes up in a room and has a dying cell phone. And he's, in essence, kind of tortured by his kidnapper, demanding a ransom. And I think that's all I'll say about it to not spoil the ending. Or should I? I don't know. But um,
Well, I think the interesting thing about this is the acting. Of course, Scott did an amazing job, but I mean, actors only do good jobs when they're well directed, I believe. But just tell us a little bit about how you got him involved in the story.
yeah, so I put in a casting call. I believe it was Casting Backwards or Backstage.com, and I got about 50 applicants. And I knew that I needed to work with a really good actor and for some reason Scott saw my post. Scott is an amazing actor. He's done a lot of different work in Hollywood, in TV in the US, and he was just fantastic. I couldn't believe he wanted to work on this film. So he showed up, couldn't believe it. And it didn't require too much direction because for me, it is so essential to have a good actor. When you have an actor that's just believable, that's credible, I gave him free reign to interpret the role as needed. We only needed to do 1 to 2 takes um, per shot. And so that's my thing is that it's so critical to work with a good actor that you trust.
And the time frame for making this film was very short as well.
Yeah, so we did pre-production in February, March. So I was planning everything. What's great is that it's only one actor, so that limits, the effort that I need to put into the production. But still, it was quite a big deal. But shooting was 1 day, post-production a couple weeks.
Yeah, I believe that we interviewed him and he said many great things about you and wanting to do the film. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
And I think you mentioned the word here that we mention very often in our office about, about being filmmakers. It's preparation. And I beg everybody on this call, and particularly in my office, it's only hard work and preparation. Because when you get on set, and I'm sure you had things, even though you were locked in a white room, there's things that just go wrong that, being a director is basically just controlling a heap of misfortunate accidents that you have not anticipated. But if you go in well prepared, you can do that, because if you've got to try and prepare after you get in on set, it's a big mess. So preparation is a big thing for us. Congratulations. Great film. I'll come back and ask you all what you're working on next, but I'm going to move on to Victor now. Victor directed the film Where the Deer Is Found, which won Best Independent Best Independent Documentary from the Americas 2025. Victor, tell us a little bit about you and tell us a little bit about your film.
Well, I'm Victor Romero. I'm Mexican and I work in film industry as an editor mostly, and sometimes as an assistant director. And well, the film is about the defense of territory in Yucatan, Mexico. And it's about how many different projects are taking away the land from the Mayan communities. And we wanted, Sandra and I, which is my co-director, and she did most of the investigation of the documentary, wanted to talk about how the government and different enterprises that are trying to greenwash clean energy are taking away the beautiful land of Yucatan from the Mayan communities with trickeries and um, many legal, like, how to say it, many legal and different ways to change the law in a way, and well, what the Mayan communities are doing to keep their land, and how their philosophy and their ways of looking at the world and understanding nature, it's fundamental for defending their land.
If I remember rightly, when I spoke to you in Mexico about this, you were also doing the documentary in Mayan, the Mayan language, no? Or there was Mayan language involved in this?
Well, the name of the documentary, just let me read it because it's kind of hard. It's Tuxcutipilque. Uh, it's in Mayan. We tried to do it in Maya, but many of the interviews do not speak Mayan. Most of them do, but the problem is that we didn't have a translator with us because it's an independent film and we didn't have
Yeah.
the money to get it with us. Uh, but it's their first language, and the most important thing I think is that we tried to do it in Maya. What we did is to create subtitles in Mayan, and the film is in YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube, and the Mayan subtitled version is the most watched of all, which is very important for us because it is supposed to be a tool for the communities. It's supposed to be the documentary is supposed to be a tool for these communities to continue their defense and to communicate their fight with these enterprises and the government.
I mean, I grew up as a documentarian, so I know a little bit about it. The unplanned moments are often the best, but it's also, I mean, it's how long did it take you to shoot the film, and how many sort of different directions did you go while you're making it?
Well, it took about a year. I do not live in Yucatan. Sandra used to live in Yucatan when we were filming. So I was staying at home with her family. And we did 3 trips. So it was the very first one where we were kind of doing a shooting scouting. So if we had the camera while we were doing the scouting and contacting all the people. Then we went for 3 weeks of shooting, which was the main photography of the documentary done. And then we had this part where there is a trial, and we went shooting the trial, and well, those were the 3 trips we did. Then we had a long time for editing because, well, we didn't have the means to contract an editor, so I was editing and working, and well, it was a back and forward. So we took our time. Then for getting the post production done was another challenge, but we did it.
Independent filmmaking, man. Independent filmmaking. Well,
That's
congratulations.
right.
There's a great story well told, so congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We're going to go to Sasa now, who did the best independent music video, experimental from the Americas. Hunter Loading. I was way too old for this film, apparently. So it's Rodrigo, who's much younger, and explained it all to me. But it was fabulous. So welcome. Tell us a little bit about you, and then tell us a little bit about Hunter Loading.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Sasha Numic. I was born and raised in Yugoslavia, now Serbia. We have the accent above the second S, so that's why people are getting confused.
Dobar dan. I spent a lot of my life in ex-Yugoslavia. So
Oh, really? Nice, beautiful.
91 to 95. It wasn't that nice.
Oh, yeah. At that time it was.
Yeah. But anyway, tell us about your film.
So right now I'm a resident of New York at this moment. I'm a director and a producer and a writer and the editor also of Hunter Loading. And Hunter Loading is a short experimental film that's presented through the perspective of a smartphone viewer at a homecoming party. Hunter, who is the main character, reveals a series of TikTok videos exposing his best friend's wife's infidelity, and by that triggering a violent reaction. The film explores themes, for me, important themes like the impact of social media and the ongoing debate in United States over gun control. It makes viewers face these issues head on, making it like relevant for you when you're seeing it. I also have a version that's specifically made for an iPhone, I mean, for a smartphone. The film was crafted more like an exercise than a traditional short film. The budget was very small. Production spent only for one day for dramatic scenes, with additional 3 hours just for the shooting scenes. Given the recent accidents on the set that were involving firearms, we were shooting this basically with the help of my DP, Rene Yescas. We made everything basically just by the lighting. So the shotgun was like a sponge. And we also selected a vertical video ratio intentionally, so we can show the claustrophobic intensity of the situation. Overall, when we started working on this project a couple of years ago, we didn't have any idea what kind of level of recorded violence would be on our phones, and how easy it would be to ultimately just swipe up to scroll and to go to see a cat jumping from a roof to, I don't know. So basically it's about two themes, and overall it's about betrayal. There's a lot of also moments where I was thinking about what makes a human character righteous, even if he's telling the truth. Is that good? Is that bad? And basically also my biggest fear is what's happening right now in America, that the gun control thing. So I just wanted to put it on the screen.
No, it's great. I mean, it's great. I mean, the message is very, very clear in your film, that's for sure. And gun control issues are just insane.
Yeah.
Much bigger topics than we can get into right now to try and get to the bottom of it. But so you say you chose the aspect ratio, but what did you shoot on? Did you shoot it on a bigger camera at that ratio, or did you actually shoot it on a smartphone? No, not at all.
No. We were shooting it on a large camera, and we even shot it widescreen, so that in the editing process, I had the freedom to crop it on the spot which I think deserved the most attention.
Yeah.
So that was giving, because the shooting was only for one day, the editing process was for 1 year. So it was basically a compromise. And because of that compromise, I wanted to shoot it very wide, so I have time to figure out which parts of acting was good, which part of like I was playing in front of my computer for a year.
Yeah, I mean, it's those long nights or days and nights in edit suites. They really show and they really count. But yes, that's where the magic is made. I love being on set and I love planning and whatever, but the magic is in the edit. That's for sure.
Correct. Yeah,
And
I
it's
agree with you.
very clever of you to shoot it wide and then go in to do that. That's very, very clever.
Thank you.
No, great film. So why don't we jump back to try and get everybody up on the screen, and I might just bounce around the room a little bit to talk about what what is independent filmmaking is a lot of big things, and I think we've had a very good example of it today. People going out and having a desire to tell a story and telling it their own way, and having to edit and do another job and spending a year in an edit suite and stuff like that. Not so much what is independent filmmaking, but how do you guys sort of think it is right now, with the TikTok mentality and the TikTok things of, swiping every 3 seconds and stuff like that. And Sasha, I'll go back to you on that. I mean, I guess we're all traditionalists at heart because we've all picked up cameras and we've told stories in a traditional sense. But is that traditional sense moving away from our grasp quicker than we can actually grasp it? And Sasha, I'll throw that at you because you made a film based on sort of TikToking and stuff like that. Where do you see that sort of trend going?
I have no idea. I totally understand. The point was that before we were shooting this, I started doing the research by being on TikTok, and it took the best out of me. It was and the worst out of me. So it were moments. There were moments where I was sitting on TikTok for like 5 hours, and realizing that, oh, I'm not researching anymore. I'm really hooked on this. This is like a rabbit hole where I'm getting a dopamine every 3 seconds. If I see something that's really bad, I'm just going to scroll, and then suddenly I see cute dogs, and it was a mixture of feelings. So I don't know where it's going. I'm always optimistic about art, about the future, about youth overall, because I remember when I was a kid, my mom and dad were always against me watching TV all the time. And now we have kids watching TikTok, and I am somehow feeling that because they're born into it, that maybe they're reacting to it differently than I am. I'm 45, so it's different. For me, it's a shock. Like, oh, I just spent 5 hours on it. But for them, that's maybe a way how they're communicating. Also, what I like about TikTok, and it seems like I'm promoting it right now, but like they have this stitch, and the stitch is making a TikTok very unique in a sense of that people can communicate to each other. So the debates are happening on TikTok. And it's pretty easy for you to understand it when you see two people talking to each other with some gaps in between, time-wise. But it's I mean, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I said a lot, but at the end I didn't say anything.
Um, what about you, David? I mean, you're the youngest one of us here.
So yeah, I mean, it is like a difficult topic. I don't know. So yeah, like it is a platform which like gets you really, really hooked on, which maybe you think that would like bring some opportunities or something good to our areas. Like we create, after all, we create content, I mean, short films and stuff like that. But yeah, like the new generations, more specifically, they are reacting different to the way they like being entertained, you know? So I don't think like it is a rival or something like that for like the general film industry. And as anything, we can take advantage of it, you know? We can create content, we can promote our projects on these social medias, on TikTok, Instagram Reels, etc. But yeah, I mean, like things are changing, and if we stay with it, if we like grow with it, we might find a way to take the best of it. I
Well,
think.
I think that that's my advice to all of us, and then you know, I'm a surfer, and when you're catching a wave, you want to be just on it or a little bit in front of it to take that wave, because when you're at the back of it, it's a long way backwards, and it's very hard to catch up. So, Daniel, let's ask you about this sort of the modern sort of, because you know, a documentary deserves to be sat down and watched. So that's my opinion. But Daniel, let's talk to you, because you know comedies as well. You know, you've really got to, when you miss it, you miss it. You know.
Yeah.
So tell me
Well,
about your thoughts on this.
yeah, TikTok changed everything. It made people watch stories in a very fast and emotional way. For filmmakers, it's a challenge because now we have to capture attention in seconds, but it also helped us learn how powerful a short moment can be. If you can move someone in 10 seconds, imagine what you can do in 10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. It's and again, I'm an optimist, a born optimist. But yeah, it's hard. Karen, I mean, you've got a man locked in a room. You know, getting that out. I mean, there's some mental gymnastics to get through that. How do we keep the TikTok generation interested in this?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think if we can return to theaters, that's helpful. It's such a The cinematic experience is amazing and beautiful, and if there can be these hard rules about, obviously not looking at your cell phone, so having a captive audience that's completely focused. So it'd be great if more independent cinema could be part of theaters and we get that return. Hopefully that happens. I've been to a couple of film festivals I've seen amazing films in theaters and audiences, so it's still very much alive.
Yeah, I agree totally, except one of our young staff yesterday was talking about, you know, it's completely normal for her to have her phone open during a film in a cinema. And I'm like, if I was sitting next to you, that thing would be flying towards the exit. But you know, that was a bit of a trick for me. Victor, how's this crazy attention span of 3 seconds going to affect us documentarians?
Well, I'm not really sure how it's going to affect us, but what I observed at least is that when you're talking about nonfiction in TikTok and many other platforms, you should be careful because there are many things that are said that might not be true and that manipulate uh, reality in a way. And if you have a cognitive bias, then you can go a way in which satisfies yourself and doesn't go through the way of doesn't go through a filter of knowing what it's really happening. So if you are like a horse with this things in the eyes and you just go like watching on your screen and your face is like this, like right now you can see in the camera, then you do not hear all the variety of voices that are around you. And I think that is one important thing that uh, you must break the algorithm in a way in order to hear the rest of the voices. I'm not against being on the screen and learning from the screen, the small screen, the really, really small screen.
Yeah.
And I'm not against that, but I believe that you must break the algorithm because it's gonna feed you with what you want to hear. And I think one important thing of documentary, it's you cannot be partial. My documentary, it's not partial, it's on the Mayan side. But you have to hear the other voices and you have to hear what is going on around the theme you're talking. And I believe that there are ways to go around the algorithm and really learn to hear the voices. I mean, it's a great way to be informed, the phone, but you have to learn how to be informed with your phone.
Well, I beg the young, clever young things around me the algorithm should be books, but I guess I'm just too old-fashioned. BBC World Service, and just, yeah, listening about things that, I can tell you everything about the elections in Tanzania last week. People will say that's stupid, but I'm glad I know about that. And trust your sources. That's the other thing. I get the New York Times delivered to my door every day, and I listen to the BBC often enough to know what that is. And people could do the same thing with whatever, but find a trusted source that's going to make you a little bit cleverer every day. To sort of end this whole TikTok thing on a thing and looking at your phone in a cinema, which I find abhorrent. We have a very diverse, crazy circus/zoo of an office. But we played a film the other day at our African Film Festival. Bang. And I've asked Rodrigo to put it up. My office is never quite calm or concentrated about anything. That just doesn't exist in my office. This film here, which I've never seen anything like it in my life. Can we just scroll like 20 seconds? I've never seen anything like it in my life. And my office was dead silent for 15 minutes, which has never happened before and definitely never since. And this is true, a man in a camera and some light and something mesmerizingly beautiful that held their attention. And I think that's sort of what got me. This is why, one, I love the film and the visuals are just outstanding, but it got their attention. So as traditional filmmakers, I still have a grain of optimism and hope that we can still capture the sort of TikTok slide right, left, upside down, or whatever they do, by just telling stories around mesmerizing images like this. It was just outstanding. Thanks, Rodrigo. So yeah, unfortunately we can't show more of the film, and it's not out on a platform yet, but it's called Déjà Nu. And it's outstanding. It was shot on the Ivory Coast by a chap from, I believe, Switzerland, who rode a push bike down to Côte d'Ivoire to actually make this film. Great story, great visuals, and just outstanding filmmaking. And I do lots of workshops, and I take lots of workshops, and I also do them. And I always say that, you can't become a good film director or a good filmmaker unless you read books. And I stand by that. I just think the idea of telling stories is not a 3-minute TikTok video or 20 seconds. It's about depth of knowledge of storytelling. And whether that's Shakespeare or Gabriel Garcia Marquez or whatever, but have a book on you guys. That's my thing. I'm going to pass this on to Rodrigo. Rodrigo's going to have a quick question and answer session with you guys.
You're not going to ask them about the next films?
And afterwards. Yeah. Okay, it's all yours, Rodrigo.
Perfect. So thank you very much. Our first question comes from Alexandra.
Hello. I have a question for Karen. What challenges did you face during making of your film?
Fortunately, it was pretty easy because it was a one-day shoot. So I think number one is just the agreement with the actor to being ensuring that he was going to show up because of his status. And then day of, I think we were just a little behind schedule. But I think that was it. It fortunately worked very easily, and we shot in sequence, so that helped a lot in terms of coverage of material. So fortunately, it was good, not too bad.
I'd be knocking on wood on that one because that will change. You know that.
Yes, of course.
Perfect. Thank you. Our next question comes from Antonia.
Hello. I have also a question for Karen. My question is, what's the one thing that you want viewers to feel after watching your film? Because it is a really specific scenario with the man locked in that white room.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. It's a short film. There's not a lot of time for character development. I told Scott to make it so that people can empathize with them at the end. Essentially, it's about karma. And so I think if people are just moved, it doesn't have to be life-changing, but I just want them to feel something and see a quality production. Very, very simple story, but that's my aim, that they get something out of it, like some feeling.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Our next question comes from Melina.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes.
Okay, I want to ask Daniel a question. Did you always plan for the ending to have that dark twist, I would say, or did it come later naturally in the process of making the movie?
Daniel, we cannot hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, well, the short film was shot in for the 48 hour film project, so it was shot the last part, and the actor, how can I say, he proposed the final, and so I think that for me, I'm not really sure that that's the message from the church or from father, but it was funny, so I think okay, let's see what happens with that final. It's a actor proportion, and I think that's okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Our next question comes from Nina.
Hello, my question is for Sasha Sasa. Hello. So, one question for you for your experimental film. Can you tell me, did you try to showcase some moral values through your film? If yes, do you feel like there are good characters in it, or is everyone exactly the same?
Oh, that was thank you for that question. It was really difficult for me because first of all, the dramatic part of this film was based on something that really happened on TV. So my co-producer and co-writer Liska, I was asking her what to do with the female character because there is a lot of misogyny here, and there's a lot of very kind of like um, a bad environment. So overall, I do think that those characters are humans, which means they do have a lot of bad characteristics. If that was your question, sorry. If that was the good answer to your question.
Perfect, thank you.
Perfect. Our next question comes from Emmanuel.
Hello. I wanted to ask something to David. Uh, why did you choose animation instead of live action? Since your film has a really why did you choose animation and that's something more special?
Okay, so there's like two answers, a simple one and the one that I like better. So simple answer, I mean, at the time I was studying specifically animation, it was kind of a project I had to do and stuff. So yeah, it had to be like an animated project specifically at the moment. But I mean, I don't think that matters because I've been animating for a big part of my life. And I think that more when you're talking about these kind of topics, when you work with animation, you can make like anything you want, you know? Like you can make the story as big as you want, and you can like make the topic and the message as big as you want alongside with the scale of the things that you're putting on screen with animation. For example, we have like this like dream realm, which is like a desert. So we can just like have like a normal desert, like something that exists, but no, let's make it like huge. Let's make it like very big and amazing and breathtaking for the spectator. And we can give him like a normal cowboy outfit, but no, let's just like make it like nice and big, and then we have gunshots and dynamic shots, and you can add anything you want, and that adds to the spectator's experience, you know? So I think you can work many different things with animation that you can't really do as easily with live action, you know? Like you can make it in different ways and both will work very good if you know how to manage them. But I think animation can open many creative doors that are very exciting for the filmmaker.
Thank you.
Excellent, thank you.
I do have a question for Victor. Victor, you gained you mentioned that Sandra gained the trust of the communities, and that allowed you to do a better film. Which is your advice for young filmmakers about working with the communities to make better content and better stories?
Well, first of all, I believe that you have to know the community, you have to be around them, and you have to really listen to them because and I believe that if you're not trying to be the protagonist of your film or whatever you're recording, uh, and let them be, because most of the people, when they see the camera or they see you shooting with the phone or whatever, they get scared and they get suspicious. So I believe that the first thing you have to do is to listen and to let them talk, and then it will flow to just you can turn on your camera or take out your camera. So make them comfortable and let them always know what are your intentions with filming them, and be honest with what you are going to do, because I mean we had this experience with one community which are in a very very big Mexican film and they didn't even know they were in the film. And before going to the community, I watched the film and I saw them and I said, "Oh." And then I asked them, "Hey, were you aware that you were in this film?" And they said, "Nah, yeah, there was a güera there with a camera shooting, but we didn't know what she was doing." And now the film is in Netflix and it's everywhere and it's been these big, huge festivals, and they didn't even know, right? So I guess that being honest with the people is what opens the doors to being around the community and let them film them, sorry.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Scott, we're going back to you.
And just to jump on that as well, Victor, the word patience is one of
Yes.
those that's, it's very hard to go in with particularly if you've got producers on board, which you didn't because it was just you guys, but having a producer and going on board and saying, well, you've got to shoot this, and this. I'm like, no, we're going to sit down for 3 days and talk to these people. It's a hard thing to explain to somebody who has the money, but it's really important making documentaries. Okay, so now the really quick little shoot around the table, because I'm going to ask you all about what current projects you're working on at the moment. And just while Rodrigo gets you all up on the screen, I'm just going to remind you all that you don't escape us now after being part of our festival and award-winning filmmakers. We're going to ask you to help the next year. I'm going to ask you to be submission judges so that you can come back and help us choose the official selection for next year. And I guarantee you'll see some weird and wonderful and crazy films, but if you will help us out on that, that would be great. David, I'm going to start with you. What are you working on at the moment?
Okay, so right now I'm like all in on animation, you know? And actually I am creating like a new studio with some colleagues, and we are like really placing all our efforts on it. We are creating content, we are searching for clients because Actually, it's quite interesting because we are going for this social media, TikTok area. So I think that's a very good way we can grow. And we're all for it. We are like planning sketches, we're planning different animations, different experimental things we want to grow as artists. And down the line, I am writing a new short film, which whenever it comes out, whenever it gets done, I mean, you will be the first to know.
Nice, excellent. We'll transfer those excellent storytelling skills that you have into that world of TikTok and animation. I'll be very interested to check it out.
Perfect, thanks.
Okay, Daniel, what's up for you next?
Oh, yeah, es La Sangre que nos une. It's a classic slasher, something we don't see very often in Mexico. It's directed by Victor Osuna, a friend of me, produced by me. We want to bring back the old school horror feeling, but with a strong emotional story behind it. And actually, this weekend, I'll be back at 48 Hour Film Project making another short film. So it's going to be crazy.
Nice, excellent. Well, crazy is good. We like crazy. Karen,
Thank
what are you up to now?
So, I've been doing the festival circuit. So I went to Italy in September. It was fantastic. So that was great. Went to a film festival last weekend, where my film showed, and then I'm in Dublin in 2 weeks. I don't know if I'll attend in person, but so right now just getting my film into all these different festivals, which is fantastic. It's quite the honor. And then in terms of looking at new scripts, probably January when I can start looking for new ideas for inspiration.
Nice. Well, enjoy that festival circuit. It's a good thing, and it's wonderful and scary at the same time to have your film playing in a festival. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Victor.
Well, right now I'm working in some short experimental uh, films with my phone, and I'm taking pictures like crazy from the metro, and I don't know where is it going, but I'll find out in some time soon. And we are working on continuing on the same subject, but now we're trying to tackle tourism in Yucatan and how it appropriates culture and how it appropriates territory, and well, how there is this Mayan pyramid which the government is trying to take, but the land belongs to a small community. So we're following that issue, and we're investigating in order to go and shoot probably next year or by the end of next year.
We'll keep getting
We
that
need
voice
the
out.
fundings, but
We'll keep
but
getting
we're
those
on that.
heard, man. That's you're doing a great job. A really, really great job. Sasha, what are you up to now, young man?
I just finished the first draft for another short film. This is not going to be experimental. This is going to be very traditional storytelling. It's called First Time Standing Still, and it's about a hidden gay couple in Serbia during the 1999 NATO bombing. Both of them are parents, fathers, and one of them is moving away, going to Hungary with his family, while the other one is staying. So they have basically, let's say, 1 minute in the elevator to say goodbye to each other, and before and after that, they're just pretending like nothing is happening except the bombing. So very excited about it. It's also I'm trying to figure out and find funding for it.
As always, man, as always. So we're gonna wrap up here shortly. But I do want to ask you, very talented human beings, just to give a couple of words of advice to the clever young things who are sitting down here, hanging on to your every words. Practicing gentlemen, I'm going to start with Karen first. What sort of broad, quick, concise advice could you offer these clever young things?
I'm a very simple person. I don't have, this great background in film or anything, but it's like you can do whatever you want. And, if you just have the vision, if you're inspired, please keep doing it. And just keep studying and doing it, and consume as much film as you can and study it, and don't give up. And I hope that you stay on the path to independent filmmaking.
The dark and treacherous and difficult to tread path. David.
Yeah, so I think what I want to say is there is like be confident and trust your ideas, you know? Like whenever you're like looking for inspiration, whenever you're creating something new, like if it moves you, if you like it, if you think it is a story worth telling, there will be hundreds and thousands of people out there that will agree with you and will find value on that idea and will find value on that concept. So if it has value for you, it will have value for many others. So just trust that, trust your instincts.
Love it, love it. Daniel, apart from slasher films.
My advice for new generations of filmmakers is don't wait for permission to create. Start with what you have, a camera, a phone, or just an idea. What really matters is your voice and your passion. Independent cinema is not about budget. It's about honesty and your heart, and believe in your stories.
Love it. Sasha?
Mine is very short as well. So making stories can be scary, but please hang on, especially if you're scared. That's the sign that it's a good idea.
Love it as well. Victor, I love what you were saying. I don't know where it's going yet, but I'll know there when I get there because it means at least you're doing it. I love that. But what other words have you got?
Well, it's more. I mean, when we started, where the deer is found, it was just like an idea, and Sandra wanted to do it with her phone, and I said, no, don't. I have a camera. Let's do it with my camera. And it was on a bar, and we were drinking, and it was just one small idea, and we just follow it, and then it became a very nice documentary. And now with this thing I'm doing with my phone, I started just taking pictures like one after another, and then, well, I said, okay, this could be animated, and now I have more than 30,000 pictures of the metro. And I really don't know where to go with that, but I know I'm following it. And right now we don't have money to do the next part of Donde Asoma el Venado, which I don't believe it's gonna be a second part, but it's on the same way. But we're gonna do it, so I guess just work on the stuff, trust in your ideas, as everybody has said, and dive in them, and absorb them and communicate them, because when people know about their ideas, you never know who is gonna help you with it. And like Sandra, she communicated her idea of shooting in the phone just because that was gonna be her thesis, and now we have a very nice documentary with many awards, including this one. So just follow it and deep dive in your ideas.
That's amazing. You guys are incredible. I'm just going to jump back onto just a couple for me. Just because we had a conversation in the office the other day, it's like, and they were just second guessing their audience straight away. I'm like, don't do that, because work on 50% of the people are going to hate your film or love your film. But you're not going to make everybody happy, and you shouldn't. Definitely as an independent filmmaker, you should have your voice, and, don't border on the arrogance, but also believe and be scared, because being scared's great. I put myself into scary situations all of the time, because it's only scary the first time, and the second time you've already done it. So that's easy. Scared, and just be ready. There's a lot of people saying, "Oh, well, I'm not ready to shoot a film yet." Well, yes, you are. There you go. You tell the story, and you've got a phone. So don't wait for a budget, or don't wait for this, and don't wait for that. That's my finishing on that. Just a little bit about us for a second. On the 5th, 6th, and 7th of December, we'll be holding the All Asian Independent Film Festival in Phnom Penh in Cambodia. Again, just like that film I showed you from Africa, which is actually a man sticking with a stick on his head, dancing in a grass suit, but mesmerizingly beautiful. We've got some great films that are coming in from Asia. So if you're in Cambodia around that time, please drop by. Again, to five fabulously talented people, thank you very much for spending time with us today. I know that there's, everybody's got something out of this. And as I said, we'll be in touch soon about getting some submission scores from you for next year's official selection. We can't wait to be back in Mexico next year. The festival was a big success because of you guys. So keep on. Sorry.
Submissions are open.
And submissions are open for the Americas Film Festival. So if anybody out there is an independent filmmaker and has taken the treacherous steps to make an independent film, whether it be animated or documentary, comedy, whatever, please check it out. So AAIFF Asia Americas.com. Jesus, there's too many film festivals now. But anyway, I'd like to thank the crew who put this together. Many thanks to Rodrigo, who brings the power day after day and night after night. Wish everybody a great weekend. Let's keep telling stories, everybody. Okay. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
bye.